Hello.
Hey, how you doing there, Mayor Rosette?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Every day I ask myself, like, how does Gunner Kane remain where he is? And whether it's, you know, playing Little Mermaid in an APC underwater with some random female.
Oh, you heard about that? Yeah.
I did. I don't know who it was. Did you ever find out who it was?
It's a member of the DOC.
Oh, maybe he was politicking, you know, vote for vote. You know?
Yeah, that's my guess.
It annoys me. It annoys me because I don't actually want to be the director. I just want to police. But I can't police if you got a numbskull and that's just getting in the way. This cap legislation.
Yeah.
Have they reached out to you at all in regards to what their concern is?
Let me tell you something. I've been mayor now for over 2 months, and I worked in politics for a year before that. I don't know what the fuck Gunner Kane looks like or sounds like because I've never met him or talked to him ever. So no, he hasn't reached out to me for anything ever.
Okay. It's McAllister that contested it, if memory serves.
It is, yeah. He's a voting hire is, I guess, what I would call him.
Yeah, that's kind of strange. You know, I feel like it should probably be pointed out on the docket somewhere.
I pointed it out at PD meeting. I actually instructed Fred to bolster.
Well,
the
I mean,
ranks of
more
his
for the
members.
voting oversight committee. You know what I mean? They may not be aware.
No. So this is what I know, right? They contested the legislation because they felt that they weren't included in it.
I actually agree with that general notion, but not in the means by which they did it, because they could have simply fucking called you and been like, hey, we want to get added to this as well, and even just said that we're going to fucking contest it otherwise. Like, you know what I mean?
They could have done that. But my thought process was this, right? Nothing in there is going to prevent them from participating in the actual procurement and delivery of those arms. In fact, I think they should be leading it, but that could be determined by SOP. I just wanted the mayor to have some level of oversight based on how his police department or her police department was getting their weapons.
So there might be a bit that you might be missing here. The problem is that it can't be by SOP.
Okay.
Now, specifically in that, remember, you know, when I first kind of got you, Delta One, and some of the others kind of like involved, a big part of that was there is a need for clarity as to what the PD can and cannot use. And I know it comes across as pedantic to a degree, but it's primarily because, I mean, kind of like, you know, I'm sure Junior's told you about some of his ideas, which I won't go too much into, but, you know, and, you know, I'm all support for it, you know, guns and muskets. I was in the newspaper for that one, right? Even when it comes to law enforcement, like, you know, if we're going to be utilizing, you know, weaponry that is coming from an external entity, both current and future, right? Because let's be on, to be rather frank with you, I don't fully trust Darkstone as their motives are not aligned with the states. But if it's aligned 90%, well, we can lean on that 90%. In other words, they get us guns. We could use those guns legally. We'll fucking use the guns, right?
Right.
But, so my point there, in the same lot, you know, if they were to pressure us in future, like, you know, hey, you now owe us $10 billion, you know, we need to, you know, it is, you know, our duty to ensure we don't get skamazed, right?
Sure.
So with that being said, I do think that legislation was absolutely necessary. I do think that the marshals should also be authorized with those things. And however, I think those concerns that they brought up to you should not have been done through this means, because this is kind of cringe.
They weren't brought to me directly. They were brought to me by Darkstone. The Gunner Kane is effectively talking to me through this arms dealer, and I have no idea why.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Well,
Effectively, a representative of Darkstone had a conversation with the marshals to find out why the marshals contested it and relayed that conversation back to me instead of just speaking with me, right? So you can imagine my frustration when a department of the state refuses to engage at all.
wait, I'm confused. So you're telling me that... Do you want to meet them now?
The marshals?
No, Darkstone.
No, I don't really need to, is the problem. I would love to. I would love to have a reason to, right? But until the legislation passes, there's really no point. That's the problem. Because listen, the legislation is ridiculous, but it's very, very clear, right? Weapons sourced from anywhere other than the armory is illegal. It doesn't mean I like the piece of legislation. Doesn't mean it makes any sense.
Oh, I see. This is protecting what was already delivered.
Right.
But it is not addressing what could be down the line.
What, the new piece of legislation? It does both.
Oh, it does do that as well. Okay.
It does, yeah.
Okay.
100%, right? But effectively, the opinion of the DOJ is that those weapons that have already been delivered were illegally trafficked into the state of San Andreas.
Oh, 100%.
Based on our existing law. Right, and I agree with that, right?
Yeah.
This gives an approval mechanism to use those weapons, but also basically a way to facilitate a contract and a future pipeline. For
Correct. Which is what's needed.
Right.
If I could facilitate a resolution to this, would you be open to it? Because this is getting retarded, and
no, I agree.
This is very...
Oh, sorry, I'm out of practice.
No, I'm going to, because the thing is, like, this can literally be resolved with a update.
I agree.
Are you open to SASM being added to the list of agencies with a retraction of the what do you call it, the hearing?
I would be open to that, but I kind of want to explain my stance on it, and
Okay.
at least from there
Please.
you have a place to negotiate. I think that SAM have an operational role in this, but I don't necessarily agree that they would have any level of decision-making authority. Meaning, I don't think they should be the ones who get to say yay or nay for whether a police department gets to buy guns from Darkstone.
Well, I don't disagree with you in terms of that, but I do understand the argument of, like, a state authority being underpowered compared to a local authority, right? Or that they feel like their exemption from it can be a concern. Like, I think that's a valid concern, but the mechanism for doing that is picking up a phone, not contesting as your first option.
I don't disagree, but I think the existing mandate of the marshals already gives them the authority to have oversight, right? So let's say there was some fuckery being done between the mayors and Darkstone. They are already empowered to investigate that, right? That was my stance on it. So I thought if they took on some type of operational lead where they are interfacing with this agency, they are collaborating with the LSPD and the BCSO to schedule these deliveries and inventory these weapons and so on. I thought that was a perfect role for the marshal. But
run that back for me. Could you speak up just a little bit?
Yeah, of course.
I think I may be losing what you're saying a little bit along the way.
Let me just get a little bit private. I was of the opinion that the parties necessary to make a contract with someone like Darkstone would have been the relevant mayor's office and the DOJ, right?
Agreed.
The DOJ as a check and balance, the mayor's office as the
right. The government makes that decision, right?
And then the marshal's involvement would come at an operational level, where after a contract has been secured between the DOJ, a mayor, and the weapons provider, the marshals would have some on-the-ground authority over the actual operation, meaning as weapons are flowing in, the marshals are potentially leading a joint task force to bring those weapons in.
Agreed.
That was my stance on it. And that's why I left them out. I didn't think they needed to have a signature on a contract. So that's why they weren't included in the legislation. But it wasn't a, fuck the marshals. It was nothing is preventing you from doing this already. So I didn't feel the need to write you in. That was my stance on it.
I think there may be like a crossing of wires. I think they're viewing it as I did too when I first read it, is why are they not in this? Because by not being in there, from a law enforcement lens looks like they're not allowed to use these things, right? So I agree with you, like logistically speaking, but
oh, I see where you're coming at it from.
Yeah.
The actual usage after.
Correct. That's the problem, and apparently that's their issue.
I thought this was all over contract. Okay.
No.
This
is literally like you. That's what was relayed to me. I'm gonna go call Gunner right now and try to understand what actually McAllister directly. Like I said, it's falling into this like pedantic thing when I think it's as simple as like, wait, so you want SASM in there too? Okay, fine. You know what I mean? For the usage.
They're a state entity. Why not just call the DOJ and say, hey, can we get our name put on this so we could get weapons and use them too? Like, why not do that?
Because Gunner Kane has created an environment of gatekeeping and lack of communication and rumor milling.
Yeah, and
so
contesting
he doesn't know how to function with brother. He flew in like fucking new hires for votes, right? So now some of these guys are good. Like I think McAllister is a good guy. I hope to save his ass if I become the director by trying to make sure people understand that the marshals aren't a special breed. They are only simply got a separate mandate, right? There may be concerns of Darkstone, as there should, but it's also kind of like weird, right? And not in the weird kind, but like more like weird in that these guys were sucking Darkstone dick, but then all of a sudden they're like sus of them ever since I like put them in cuffs. You know what I mean? It's like it's kind of going from like one extreme to the other, where like all of a sudden you're like, do you guys even have a position, right, to argue from? You know, or is it a I think it's that simple.
Yeah. So I don't know if you saw the docket or not, but Roman Atlas grabbed the case and basically said, like, he's ready for scheduling, put availability up. I put mine up, but I said if he wants to delay scheduling until after the director is appointed, fine. But if you can facilitate something beforehand, I'm open to whatever that looks like. If this is just a matter of they want a pipeline to contract their own weapons and use them, I'm happy to oblige. Right?
Yeah.
I'm happy to oblige. I don't know if you saw, but the mayor's office put forward your name as director.
I appreciate that.
I abstained from the vote.
Understood.
Yeah.
I know the voting is coming up. I didn't know it was like that. That's going to be interesting since now I got to go promote everyone to command in my shift.
That's what I told Pred.
No, I'm not going to do that.
You should.
No, I'm not. Look, I'm a strong believer. Look, here's the thing, Mr. Zell. I've been around the city long enough. I always know that I take things as they come. You know what I mean? And even me putting my name forward is more of a, hey, I can fix this. Do you want it or not? And then I let destiny take its course. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I know I'm going to be cleaning the shit one way or another. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
so, and to that end, if you feel really committed to this idea, I will happily instruct Kyle Pred to make Nino Chavez and Stanley Miller a captain, if you want. Anyways, I got to run. It's good talking.
Okay. Do you want to reach out to Gunner or should I?
I don't have his fucking number.
Oh.
I've never talked to the guy. Like I said, I've never had any level of engagement either on the phone or in person with this person ever.
Just keep in mind he's a little dumb, so he's still got, I mean, he's an offspring of Dark, right? So he's gonna be thinking sus before using common sense. You know what I mean?
Why don't you, can you do me a favor? Can you give him a call first, kind of set the stage, and then I will try and reach out to him before I fly out here.
I think it's not smart. You know what? Fuck it. I'll give him a call.
I let him know that you're going to be his boss soon too.
Yep. All right. I appreciate it.
You talk to you later.
You take care.